Welcome to Wednesday Night Live Spirit, Mind, and Body Connection, where we believe there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. And we are using it every single day of our lives, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. So I welcome you to our Wednesday night service, and I acknowledge that this is not something you tuned into by chance. Nothing happens by chance or happenstance or coincidence. Everything is by a divine appointment. So thank you for keeping your divine appointment tonight. As we move into the month of gratitude, our theme for the month is the gentle art of blessing, where we're going to acknowledge the energy of gratitude and the opportunity that we have every single day of our lives to look at what is being brought in and transmute the routines of work into celebrations of life and love. This is our choice, that we are here by choice. And when we recognize that, we open such a space to receive our good, pressed down, shaken together, and flowing over into every single area of our lives. So tonight, Miss Minnie and I, we welcome you. We acknowledge your commitment to your spiritual life. These universal principles are about oneness and universal love. And our way of life moves beyond color, race, creed, sexual orientation, and oh yes, I added, and political affiliation. Tonight, we're going to talk about a grateful heart as a magnet for miracles. That's right. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles because there is a law of gratitude. And we're going to go deeper into that this month as we acknowledge we're moving into Thanksgiving and to recognize that every single day is a gift. And what we make of this gift, what is our gift back to God? Whatever we conceive our God to be, whatever name we put on our higher power, it matters not. But to acknowledge that which is within us is greater than that which resides in the world of conditions, appearances, and effects. That's right. And so you know that every Wednesday Night Live, we set the tone. And I use the Tibetan bells to use the Gandhi Foundation chant. I invite you that when I make this declaration into the law of mind, feel free to repeat after me. And if you don't feel comfortable sharing this audibly, you can just go within and repeat the words silently. This is a universal chant of oneness, of compassion, for the empathy in the human condition. So let us begin. I offer you peace. I offer you friendship. I offer you love. I see your beauty. I hear your needs. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from a higher source. I salute that source in you. Come, let us work together. Come, let us work together. Come, let us work together. Right now, somewhere in the world, a Jew is saying her prayers. A Hindu is chanting a mantra, and a Buddhist is kneeling at her sacred shrine. Right now, at this very moment, someone is lighting a candle in a cathedral. Someone is making their Hajj toward Mecca, for it is the will of Allah. And yet someone else is lighting a fire in a jungle, repeating an ancient mystical drama. Many, many pathways up the mountaintop, and the view is always the same from the summit. In the dawning of the spiritual sun, for a moment all faiths became as one. The Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, Jew became as one and somehow knew that mystic voice that calls to me, "Oh, yonder, yonder person, I am thee. We are one. And in this oneness do we live and move and have our being." And so it is. And so it is. So tonight we're looking at a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. Now remember that when we negotiate with reality, that we move beyond time and space, that a miracle moves beyond time and space. And I believe truly that every moment is miraculous, and that we have this opportunity that's presented to us every single day of our lives. And as we open to that opportunity, we move to the next level. Remember, life goes not backward, it tarries not with yesterday. It is the forward advancement of the soul. So if life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday, but is the forward advancement of the soul, it is up to each and every one of us to hear that call, to answer that call, and to move forward. This is what we're called to do, to move forward in life, to live in this present moment. Remember, the point of power is always in the present moment, always, because the present moment is eternal. And when I hear people say, well, in the real world, that's the relative world. That's the relative world of conditions, appearances, and effects. The real world is within us. The real world is eternal. And that eternality opens to the energy of the universe and moves us up the spiral. Life's not about a pendulum swing where, it's black, it's white. Life is a spiral. And with each evolution of this change, as we move up that spiral, we embody the energy of who and what we are. I believe that we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. And through this human experience, we live and move and have our being. And this was brought up so clearly to me in an interview that I viewed. And it was about a Holocaust survivor. And his name was Ernie Geyer, and he was being interviewed. And he talked about in 1938, the Nazis went in to Germany. They destroyed all of the Jewish businesses, synagogues, anything related to the Jewish people was destroyed. And his family realized, his father realized, we have no future in Germany. And so they obtained visas to move into Holland and then come to the United States. Now, he said they were on the train, and there were many, many Nazi sympathizers, that were of German origin, and that they could be turned into the Gestapo at any moment. And he said you could feel the fear in the train compartment. It was palpable. You could feel it. And they were advised, don't draw attention to yourself. Just be nondescript. Get yourselves to Holland and then to the United States. And so he said it was he, his sister, his mother, and his father. And his father was an Orthodox Jew. He was a cantor, and he was feeling very, very sad that this was the 8th day of Hanukkah, and he could not light the Hanukkah candles. And he was tempted to do it. He had them right in his pocket. And he said, I must do this, because he was very, very religious, and he felt that this doctrine was part of his life. But his wife said, God will forgive you this one time. We need to get safely into Holland and then to the United States. God will forgive you this one time for not lighting the 8th day of Hanukkah candle. So he said the trains began, and they were on their way. And then all of a sudden, there was a stop. And they had come to a German customs station. And the Gestapo got on the train. And they wanted to see everyone's papers. And as they were checking everyone's papers, and this is what I love about the universe, and I love the mystical element of metaphysics. There is a mystical element of metaphysics that moves beyond time and space. This is when we negotiate with reality and we move beyond time and space to that eternal moment. And so, as they were checking the papers, suddenly there was a power outage and it became pitch black. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face, Ernie said. And Ernie was 12 years old. And he said, with that, his father very bravely took out the Hanukkah candles. Many people had gotten off the train. And he softened the bottoms of the candles with one candle. And he put 9 candles on the windowsill of the train. And then he went into his ancient prayers of this holy Hanukkah. And as he went into the ancient prayers and he lit the last one, this drew the attention, of course, to the German officials. And they came in and they could hear the boots. And they opened the compartment door. And the German officer said, "How very nice of you to bring your travel candles." And his father took a deep breath and said, "Oh, yes, I always carry them with me. I always carry them with me." So they had them removed from the compartment. And the German officer stamped every passport, all of the paperwork, by the light of the Hanukkah candles. And Ernie said that had they known that they were doing this by the light of the Hanukkah candles, they would have been arrested. He said, we would not be here today to tell the story. And he said it was the greatest miracle because as they stamped the last passport, all of the lights on the train went on. But every passport was stamped by the light of the Hanukkah candles. And then when they were given back the compartment, he said his father took his hands and he said, "Remember this, son, for the rest of your life. Remember this moment for the rest of your life." This, just as in the time of the Maccabees, was a miracle. This was a miracle. Can you imagine the Nazis stamping every passport under the light of the Hanukkah lights? And one of my very, very favorite poems that I use at our Christmas Eve service is called A Candle. A candle's but a simple thing. It starts with just a bit of string, but dipped with patient hand, it gathers wax upon the strand. Until complete and snowy white, it gives at last a lovely light. Life seems so like that bit of string. Each deed we do a simple thing. Yet day by day, if on life's strand, we work with patient heart and hand, it gathers joy, makes dark days bright, and gives at last a lovely light. We are the light of the world. And as we let our light so shine before the world, they see who we are. And everyone and anyone who is gathered into our energy field is healed and uplifted in our presence. Don't we love it? Something as simple as a candle. The energy of a candle. Such a simple thing. It starts with just a bit of string, but dipped with patient hand, it gathers wax upon the strand. Until complete and snowy white, it gives at last a lovely light. Tonight, we're acknowledging the gratitude that for every experience that comes in our lives. Can you imagine? Now, there's a caveat to this story. And Ernie Geyer said it. When they made it to America. He said, I felt the Statue of Liberty speak to me. I felt it. And it said, welcome, Ernie, to America. Welcome. And he said, I heard that voice and then saw, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. Each of us is yearning to breathe free. We're in the middle of a pandemic, hopefully at the far end. And what I know is that, yes, there has been a collective consciousness that has transcended. We know that death is not extinguishing the light, it's turning off the lamp, because dawn has come. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that glow and blow. I am the winter glint on snow. I am the swift uplifting hush of quiet birds in their rush. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. That energy is neither destroyed nor created. It changes form. And as it shifts and changes form, we feel the severance. They who go feel not the pain in parting. It is they who stay behind that suffer, that yearn, that grieve, that feel the sorrow. Until one day, we stop weeping that it's over and we begin to rejoice that it happened. We begin to rejoice that it happened. So tonight, what are we grateful for as we enter the season of Thanksgiving? And so many experiences that have occurred, and so many heart-wrenching things that have occurred since March of 2020. For me, I have opened the door to so many experiences. I've listened as a beneficial presence to those that have been through so much. And what I know is that when we begin to give gratitude for all of it, that we heal ourselves. And that as we heal ourselves, we can be of service to others and what? Ultimately, the planet. Ultimately, the planet. So in this gathering of 1938, of a little family in a train compartment that was given, the father was given his wish to light the last Hanukkah candle and to have the German Gestapo and to have everyone come on the train and the officers that needed to stamp each passport by the light of a Hanukkah candle, to me, is miraculous. And if that can happen under such circumstances, in fact, Ernie Geyer wrote a book called The Heroes of the Holocaust, where he said there were many miracles, many miracles. And remember, Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, he said they could take everything away from us, every physical thing away from us, but they could not take our freedom of choice of how we were going to respond to what happened to us. That there were acts of kindness in a concentration camp where someone would give their last piece of bread to someone else that was in need and dying and hungry. There are so many random acts of kindness on the planet. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on the energy of love and gratitude and the opportunity that we have every single day of our lives to make a difference. We're not here just to make a living, are we? We're here to make a difference. So when we look at the electromagnetic energy of the universe, and, in the quantum physics, that you can take something, some inert object, and it just stays there, right? But the minute we focus energy on it, that Kirlian photography has proven that there is movement within us, that everything is a molecular structure at a DNA cellular level. One of our local miracles, I feel, was someone in our spiritual interfaith community. And after 53 years, she heard from a daughter that she had given up for adoption. They wouldn't even allow her to embrace the baby. They just took the baby away. She said, I was 19 years old. I was confused. I had nothing to offer a child. And she said, so I gave her the opportunity to really be who she was and to be with a family that wanted a child. And after 53 years, she heard from her daughter. Her daughter's friends went on a search for her, and she had some health questions. And they found her on Facebook. Now, she has shared this on Facebook, but I feel that I just want to keep her anonymity. And she had a gathering in Rancho Mirage where she brought in all of her friends to meet this long-lost daughter. She said that when she went to San Diego and they embraced, that she embraced her daughter for the very first time, that there was such an energy. And I believe there's a spiritual DNA. She talked about everything they had in common. They even wore the same colors. They had the same spiritual interests. They had the same wonderful love of cats. And my friend had a feral cat come under her bed, and she gave birth to 6 beautiful kittens, which are still living with my friend. And they had all of these things in common and a spiritual ground of being. So if we look at a spiritual DNA energetically, and we open to the spiritual DNA and realize that we are co-creators with an infinite power of the universe that we choose to call God anything you like, anything that resonates with you. It's your higher power. It's that which is within us that is greater than that which resides in the world. And that even after 53 years, that you wanted to embrace this tiny baby, hold it in your arms, cuddle it, love it. And the opportunity was taken from you. That even after 53 years, you can step out and there is that infinite love that you can embrace. And I believe that is the energy of our spiritual DNA, and that we vibrate at various frequencies. Not everyone is going to vibrate at the same frequency that we vibrate at. It's not bad or good. Remember Fritz Perls, he wrote a book, Games People Play. He said, I am not in this world to live up to your expectations. You are not in this world to live up to my expectation. I am I and you are you. And if by chance we find each other, it's beautiful. And if not, it can't be helped. We're not vibrating at the same frequency, are we? When we vibrate at the same frequency, we create a soul community. I believe that many of my Facebook friends that I have met from all over the world, from serving as the president of the International Foundation for World Peace and Research, that I believe it's not a first-time meeting. It's a joyful reunion of souls that have been together many, many lifetimes. And that just as a Nazi can stamp a passport in the light of a Hanukkah candle sitting on the windowsill of a train, bound for Holland, and then to the United States, right? And for Ernie Geyer to write that book, Heroes of the Holocaust, God bless you. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. To have that freedom of religion, to have that freedom to live our lives as we so choose. This is the beauty of our nation. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. I salute everyone who went out on the front lines, including my father, who came back very damaged after World War II. I salute you all, yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of our teeming shore. Yes, we have a destiny, and I do believe it's under God, just as the Pledge of Allegiance states. And I am not political. I vote for whom my heart is drawn to, and I vote for kindness. And I vote for light and energy and a renewal and an opportunity that we have to make a difference one to the other. And just as Ernie's father set out those Hanukkah candles, and the German officer came in and said, "How very nice of you to bring travel candles during this power outage on the train," and could stamp every single passport under the light of a Hanukkah candle. A candle's but a simple thing. It starts with just a bit of string, but dipped and dipped with patient hand, it gathers wax upon the strand. Until complete and snowy white, it gives at last a lovely light. Life seems so like a bit of string. Each deed we do a simple thing. Yet day by day, if on life's strand, we work with patient heart and hand, it gathers joy, makes dark nights bright, and gives at last a lovely light. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Wednesday night live service. You know that I do complete every single service with a spiritual treatment, that a spiritual treatment is a positive prayer of alignment. We are not begging, bargaining, or beseeching an anthropomorphic God sitting in a throne with a little black book and a long white beard. Our God is all-inclusive. It is everywhere present. It is the center of everything and the circumference of nothing. Our God is all-inclusive. So if you have a prayer request, please post it. Our Miracle Working Ministry of Prayer will treat over it, do a spiritual treatment for 30 days. We know that prayer is the most powerful energy in the universe, and that we open to this power. So let's take a deep cleansing breath and acknowledge there is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is our life right here and right now. It is nearer than our breathing. It is closer than our hands and our feet. It is the life of our life. It is the essence of our being. All that we are is this God-created stuff. God in us, God as us. God is the only truth of us, whatever we conceive our God to be, whatever name we put on our higher power, it matters not. But to acknowledge the energy within the heart and soul of each and every one of us. Let us align that that which needs to be healed is healed. That which needs to be revealed is revealed. That which needs to be known is known, and that which needs to be released is released quickly, gently, and with grace. For eye hath not seen nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of humanity the things which God hath prepared for them that love. Love being the strongest healing power in the universe. We are told if we could love enough, we would be the strongest, most powerful beings on the planet. And I want to add, if there's anyone viewing tonight that possibly cried themselves to sleep last night, know that this word is for you. The love of God surrounds you. The light of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you. That wherever you are, God is. This is the truth for you and with you. You are not alone. You are loved. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this way of life, for the recognition that we are all one, regardless of color, race, creed, or sexual orientation. We are all one. And any plant which the Heavenly Father hath not planted is rooted up and returned to its native nothingness from whence it came. As I let go and let God do what God does best by means of me, I know intuitively that God always gets the job done. And that does make all the difference. And so it is. And I thank each and every one of you who have donated to Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide. I want you to know that your gift goes to keeping our doors open, that even a ministry is a business. Even though we're about our Father, Mother, God's business, there are expenses to keep the doors open. And your generosity has made that happen. And I acknowledge each and every one of you for that, because we know the same opening that we give through is truly the same opening that we receive through, right? So thank you for your generosity, your light, your love, your faith, and this wonderful, wonderful ministry that we just celebrated September 1st, our 20th anniversary here at Interfaith. And on October 12th, I celebrated my 46th consecutive year in the ministry. I am the longest serving minister in the New Thought movement. And I feel very good about that, because I am the greatest benefactor of this way of life. And I absolutely know with Albert Schweitzer that I don't know what your destiny will be, but this one thing I know: the only ones among you who will be truly happy are those who have sought and found how to serve. It's a blessing to serve you. I love you. Miss Minnie and I will be back next week, and we're going to talk about the power of blessing. So thank you so much for being part of our beautiful virtual audience. As I say goodnight, God bless you, and I love you.